Hi, hello everyone. I'm Dr.Visweswaraiah S, Assistant Professor of English, Government First Aid College, Kunigil, which is affiliated to Tumkur University, Karnataka. So, dear viewers and my dear students, in this video, my presentation is on Gulliver Travels Part 1, Voyage to Lilliput. Chapter 5 summary. So in the previous videos, the 4 chapter summaries were explained with the summary and its analysis. Let us see that what happens in the last 4th summary or in the 4th chapter, so that it will be connected to the 5th one. See, when Reldresel, a government employee or government official, he comes to Gulliver and describes about the conflict between the Lilliputians or Lilliputs and the Blefuscu. And even he explains that the emperor asks Gulliver to support them or defend Lilliputs against the enemy. So even it is important. Even the Reldresel with the details, he gives information about how Blefuscu supports and or Blefuscu is getting ready for the war and everything. Even Gulliver, though he was not interested to involve between these, because Lilliputians, but with order from the emperor, and he accepts to give support to the Lilliputs. So let us see how the war happens and how the support of Gulliver is will be given to the Lilliputs, and we'll see what happens in the chapter 5. Okay, so dear viewers, let us have some have some slides on the screen, so you will be able to analyze, or you will be able to get more the summary and the analysis. Okay, so let us see. Yeah, thank you. Okay, it is that okay, the first slide is on my topic. It is Jonathan Swift's Gulliver Travel Part 1, The Voyage to Lilliput, Chapter 5 summary and its analysis. Okay, sorry, yeah, I think this is okay. Yeah, look at that in this summary. This what happens here. Gulliver, as a detective or spies on the empire of Blefuscu and devises a plan. He chuck out a plan, and he asks for the cables and bars of iron, out of which he makes hooks with cables attached in it. Look at the plans setting against the enemy of Lilliput's enemy country. So he asked for cables and bars of irons, and so that out of it he makes a hook and with cables attached to that. Then he walks, and he walks and swims the channel to Blefuscu. He just he swims that river, and he goes there and catches their ships at port. But he attacks their the ships at the port. Okay, so then Immediately what happens, that mm, Blefuscu were very much scared about looking this gained structure or gained man. The people are so frightened about looking at him, and that they leap out of their ships and swim to shore, and they ran away. They run away to escape from this gained structure. Okay, so like this, Gulliver spies on the empire of Blefuscu. See what happens in the next. Blefuscu soldiers attack Gulliver. So we'll see how it happens. Gulliver attaches a hook, okay, to each ship and ties them together. See, like this, he just attaches and he just ties them together. And simultaneously, all the ships, single time he pulls out. So, the Blefuscu soldiers, they fire arrows at him. Blefuscu soldiers fire arrows at him, but he keeps working because the main thing is the arrows should not hit his eyes. So he protects his eyes by putting on the spectacles. So he wears his spectacles and he keeps in his coat pocket, and even so he uses this kind of tricks to pull out or the ships at the port. So with this, again Gulliver tries to pull the ships away, and they are anchored too tightly, because they were anchored it too tightly, so which it was difficult for him to pull it out. So what he does, he cuts them. That tie, or he cuts them the rope, and with his pocket knife. He has a pocket knife and he pulls the ships back to Lilliput side. Okay, look at that, how Blefuscu soldiers attack Gulliver, though Gulliver was Gulliver is very careless about it, and he just do his work, and we'll see what happens. Okay, sorry. Yeah, Gulliver is greeted as a hero, because in Lilliput Gulliver is greeted as a hero because in Blefuscu it is already made a news that that said in Lilliput there is a big gained man is there, maybe he's from alien or so on. Maybe something like that. Everywhere Gulliver is in the news. So in Lilliput, especially, Gulliver is greeted as a hero, because they thought that he saved the country. He such a way that they feel that he is our savior. So they feel like that, and greet him as a hero. The emperor asks him to go back to recover the other ships also. See, so many ships were already conquered, or pulled out from the Blefuscu, but the emperor still asked him to go back to recover other ships also there. But even here, even intending to destroy Blefuscu's military strength to make it a province in Lilliputian Empire, because the emperor, what he orders Gulliver to go to Blefuscu and even to destroy the military there, and even this making a province in Lilliputian Empire. But somewhere Gulliver feels it very bad, that Gulliver dissuades him from this action. even somewhere he shows no, not to do, or he dissuade that particular idea of this emperor who tells this, saying that he does not want to encourage slavery or injustice. That is what his intention. Blefuscu is also another country, so he doesn't want sorry, the people of there to encourage slavery or injustice. This is how he feels it, and there the war ends with Blefuscu's surrender. Finally, what happens? Surrenders. We'll see. Gulliver's attitude causes great disagreement in the government. See what happens the moment Gulliver dissuades the idea of the emperor, or he disobey the order of emperor. So this attitude of Gulliver causes great disagreement in the government. So the government is thinking about why this Gulliver is now showing this showing dishonest and dishonesty, and even is doing dishonor to them. Even some officials turning staunchly against Gulliver and calling for his destruction. You know that some of the officials in the government are staunchly against Gulliver, and even asking the emperor to destroy him or to kill him. So what happens immediately after this? 3 weeks later, a delegation arrives from Blefuscu. Blefuscu surrendered, but now as a token of greeting, a delegation arrives to Gulliver to come to Blefuscu, and the war ends with Blefuscu's surrender. So this is very interesting for Gulliver. The Blefuscu delegates are privately told of Gulliver's kindness towards the Lilliputians, and they ask him to visit their kingdom. Look at that, how Blefuscu's people, and even they think like that. Is total intention of Gulliver is to just show kindness toward Lilliputians, either Lilliputians or for the Lilliputs or for the Blefuscu as well. So this is very attracted to Blefuscu people in their kingdom, in the Blefuscu kingdom, so that they delegated privately to Gulliver's kindness, and ask him to visit once to the kingdom. Sorry. He wishes to do so because he was very enthusiastic to visit the kingdom of Kingdom Blefuscu, and the emperor reluctantly allows it. Okay, the emperor of that Blefuscu allows him to just come and do that. Put off the emperor's wife's room of fire. So in the same time, what happens? As a Nordak, or a person of high rank, Gulliver no longer has to perform all the duties laid down in his contract. See, no longer has to perform, because that is how. He does, however, have the opportunity to help the Lilliputians when the emperor's wife's room catches fire. See, it is not in the agreement to help always in any situation, but it is also important now. What happens here? He got an opportunity to help Lilliputians when the emperor's room, emperor's wife's room catches fire. It was very, the Lilliputians are, they were okay, looking at this game, this, and they can't, or they were very much, can't able to put off that fire, but he forgets his coat and cannot put the flames out with his clothing, because he forgot that to wear his coat, so that if he had a coat, and he can just use his coat and to just put the flames out. So what he does, he doesn't have a coat to just do that. Instead, he thinks of a new plan. What is that new plan? He urinates on the palace. He piss out there, urinates on the palace, putting out the fire entirely off. So this way of putting out fire of emperor's wife, they causes angry. Look at that. Okay, prosecution, Ordandia. He worries afterward that since the act of public urination is a crime in Lilliput, it is important. See, public urination is a crime there. See what he does. What he does. What he did now. What he has done. He just urinated. We know that the purpose is good, because to put the fire off, so that he will be prosecuted. But the emperor tells him he will be pardoned, because he did with a purpose. He did with a cause. There was a cause to do this. He is told that, however, the emperor's wife can no longer tolerate living in her rescued quarters. So, that even emperor's wife can no longer tolerate to live there because of such quarters, though it was rescued from Gulliver. Okay, these are the things happening there, and we even will see what happens. This part, chapter 5 ends with this. Okay, let us see the analysis of this chapter. Okay, the text contains a number of allusions to events in Swift's life and to the politics of Europe. Look at this politics of Europe, for instance, it has been suggested that the empress who represents Queen Anne of England. Gulliver's urination on her quarters represents Swift's work, a tale of a tub, and the empress's disgust at Gulliver's urination is an analogous to Queen Anne's criticism on Swift's work and her attempts to limit his prospects in the Church of England. So this is how we know that satire is brought out in this chapter. Okay, dear students, it's very important to look at that, how it is an analogous to the Queen Anne's criticism of Swift's work. That is how, we see that, within the story, Gulliver's urination on the palace is not merely an offense to the Lilliputian sense of decency. It is also a suggestion of their insignificance, to which they respond indignantly. See why? Although Gulliver's urination is intended to prevent a disaster, it is also an assertion of his ability to control the Lilliputians, even by the most disrespectful of actions. See, as I told you that already, the cause, we know that Gulliver's this response, immediately urinating on and putting off the fire, is not an offense actually. to look at as it is. But that Lilliputians, decency, sense of decency is ended there, or something like that. And even they say that it is against the rule. That is how. This episode illustrates again the importance of physical power, because it shows that physical power, and which can turn a normally insignificant or vulgar action into a life-saving act. And Gulliver's refusal to obey the emperor's order to destroy the fleet of Blefuscu is a sign that he feels some responsibility towards all beings, showing concern with all human beings, all beings who are in the same way. And however, the inhabitants of Blefuscu still have rights, on which is freedom from tyranny, granted almost godlike power by his unusual size. Gulliver finds himself in a position to change the Lilliputian society forever. That is how. Okay, this is my reference. Thank you. And look at that how this particular chapter 5 is focused here on Gulliver's his strength to pull out the shapes there, and afterwards he gains love of Blefuscu, and even all these acts in this chapter 5, I think makes you more to understand the story better. So like this, let me wind up this session by saying this. And now the chapter 6 will be in the next video you can watch. Thank you viewers, thank you so much for watching me and watching this video, and kindly subscribe to my channel and watch. Thank you so much.